Hello and welcome. So I'm Lauri, and we've been planning for this for quite some time. We haven't had of our own at the Hackerspace. We've hosted a bunch of hackathons, different ones, but we haven't really run one of ourselves. And I guess the reason for doing this is that me as well, as probably many of the people who are here as well, they've had some ideas cooking in their heads, but they haven't had this kind of, let's say it, incentivization to get something done. So I think that's one of the points of running a hackathon is that initially you promise to do something, and this sort of pushes you to actually finish something as well. So it's sort of psychologically manipulating yourself into doing something and finishing it as well. And to sort of increase the stress level, I put the timer here as well. So it's counting down the minutes to 2 p.m. on Sunday. So let's say that that's the time when you're supposed to be done with whatever you're planning to do this weekend. And unlike many other hackathons, there is no pressure to build a business or a minimum viable product or whatever. You just forget about that. You just have a nice weekend, enjoying building stuff that we like to build, as most of us are. Let's say that our heads are shaped, has the shape of an engineer. So building something either for fun or for whatever is the case really, and it doesn't necessarily have to be business oriented at all. So I asked people to put down their ideas in the wiki. So there's some ideas there. There is no expectation to build anything Hackerspace related. You can just work on whatever you're building for yourself. And so you can, I think the wiki link went out with a newsletter, so the wiki link is there. All of the relevant information is there. You can check out the ideas there. There's food organized throughout the event. We'll get pizzas, we'll get some Asian food, we'll get some, we restocked all of the snacks, drinks, whatever, everything is here. And for this occasion, usually we would, sleeping in the hackerspace would be frowned upon. It would imply that you're a homeless person, but for this occasion, we're lifting this constraint so you can sleep these days here. Yeah. Also, you can feel free to join later. So maybe somebody is, I suppose many people are working tomorrow, so they maybe they're not able to participate tomorrow. So that's fine as well. We're not keeping track of anything. There's no checking in or something like that. And also, we'll keep the door open for the whole event. So, and again, if something goes down, like let's say Slack goes down, we'll post, I think the phone number should be on the homepage and should be also, we'll also copy the information into Slack as well. Might be the case that we actually destroy wiki in the process of doing random stuff this weekend. So I'll be sure to copy the contact information into different channels. So, did I forget anything about shower? There's a shower on the 4th floor. We'll have to find the key to that shower. Well, I hope we'll find it. Also, I think there's more showers in the buildings. So on our floor, we do not have a shower, but on the other floors of this building, there are showers. You can go and take a shower there. And yeah, but I guess let's go to the ideas now. And I guess I'll start with mine. Others will, as much as they are here at the moment, will present by themselves. I will just briefly talk about a couple ideas that I put here. There's lots of ideas here, but that doesn't make sense to go through all of them here. Maybe I'd just like to highlight 2 ideas. So let's start the one which is not Kubernetes related. So many of the Hackerspace members use ZFS file system. And I also started using ZFS on my laptop, so I have a I have a root file system using ZFS. and it also uses native encryption. So the great thing is that if my laptop gets stolen, most likely it will be very hard to retrieve the contents without the password. And the interesting thing about ZFS native encryption is that it allows you to stream the snapshots to a remote machine without revealing the keys. So you can send the encrypted data to a remote machine. And this opens up an interesting opportunity here to build a ZFS backup service for the Hackerspace members. So we do have a large ZFS pool here in the server room. And it would be a great idea that I could push the contents of my laptop to that ZFS pool in an encrypted format. And I've been now doing something like this on the backup machine. So the backup machines, I have an offsite backup machine to make the backups of what we run in the production here. And I can tell as much as I have learned. There's lots of caveats there, especially when it comes to recursive datasets and whatnot. And also resuming interrupted ZFS send, etc. So there's lots of corner cases there. So I'm very open to telling more about the details of that if somebody wants to implement that. And yeah, we could maybe build a prototype that would be usable on a laptop, that you could push your laptop contents into a remote ZFS pool, and we could maybe host it here. So that's one of the ideas that I would like to highlight. I think this resonates with a lot of people here, and might prove to be a useful service that a hackerspace can run. And besides this, of course, there has to be a Kubernetes-related idea. So one of the problems that I have is that whatever Docker images that get started in a Kubernetes cluster, it's quite tricky to figure out what was the version of the image that was started. It might be the case that in your manifest declaration you just say, start Nginx version 2, but the version 2, the tag 2 meaning changes over the time as new minor and patch releases are pushed to Docker Hub. So the :2 meaning changes over time, and then if you look in your running pods listing, you would see just :2, but which release is it actually? Nobody knows. And I tried to actually, I dug inside the Docker API a bit, and Docker has made it particularly annoying to do the reverse lookup for an image. So if you have a SHA checksum of an image, it's very hard to actually figure out what is the version which is coming, where it's coming from. And I suppose that has something to do with them making lots of money by selling the subscriptions to Docker Hub API, because the moment you try to do this, you will use up lots of API requests, because you effectively have to build the lookup table from bits and pieces. So you have to iterate through all of the images, all of the tags, all of the SHA checksums, and then rebuild it locally in a memory or something like that. And yes, so it would be great if there was a software component that could do that lookup. And I actually have now paid the Docker subscription as well, so we can do more requests. So this is one of the ideas that I would like to see somebody else build besides me. And again, I can help out here with the details. So yeah, I guess some of you might be asking, like, but Lauri, there's like already a bunch of different, what was it called? NeoVector, I think was what was pointed out. And there was another, Trivi also does something similar. So Lauri, why don't you use a vulnerability scanner to figure out the broken images in your infra? But it might be the case that I would want to know if there is a major version upgrade available for an image, for example. So this could be something that could be extracted from that service, that besides returning a patch version of an image, it could also spell out like what is the next patch release, or what is the latest patch release, what is the latest minor release and major release as well. So that's actually the data that I am interested in. And once that data is available, it would be a good basis for building a dashboard, which you could just install on a very messed up customer's Kubernetes cluster. A customer who is very worried about their setup, wants to know all of the things that are wrong with their cluster and are willing to pay lots of money. So some tool that I could run there, and it would list the software components that are out of date and how much they're out of date. And I think you could also get the timestamps. It would be excellent if you could get the timestamp of a Docker image. When was it uploaded to Docker Hub? So you could ask, like, give me all of the stuff that is older than 6 months. So it might be the case that, for example, the software vendor changes their Docker registry and they start pushing their images to another registry. So the images that you have been using so far, they are not getting any updates, and you don't know about that. So to address this and a bunch of other corner cases that I've thought about, I first need to have this lookup service where you can ask all of these details about a running Docker image. Yep, there's, of course, besides this, there's lots of other stuff here, which I'm not gonna go into. And you can just, look around in the wiki if somebody wants to help out with something. I'm very much willing to help out as a mentor. And actually, to build stuff this weekend, especially when it comes to like web services. So we've been working very hard over the past 2 months, I think, to build, first of all, the authentication service. Yes. We updated the authentication service for the hackerspace. So it's an OpenID Connect identity provider, and it's been written totally from scratch because it very, very nicely integrates with the Kubernetes infra. So we can do automatic application registration into the provider. So we have these 2 clusters, the Kspace, let's say, production cluster, and then the code mowers cluster, which is used for mostly for development and testing. And everybody who wants, I think Madis is already using it. You can use the code mowers cluster to write software. You can use Scaffold to deploy it there, test it, and you would see it automatically register to the identity provider, so you can log in to your application as well. So, for example, I suppose the ZFS backup service could have an OpenID Connect authentication. I don't see point anymore writing any kind of applications with local authentication. That doesn't make any sense. And the other aspect that we've been working on is this operator library that I've spent lots of time on it. So this one is now running in both clusters. I updated everything, and basically it's just an improvement over what we had previously, what we had in these Kubernetes workshops. So there's like minor changes here and there, but user experience is pretty similar. And so we've got in both clusters, MySQL is supported with the operator, Minio buckets, KeyDB, Postgres, Redis, and also this secret generation as well. So all of the docs are here. I think if there's no links in the wiki, I will add the links as well. And yeah, so basically the user experience for a developer should be that you just write a piece of code, you add your deployment to start up the code, and then you just use Scaffold to deploy it. And if your application needs Redis or MySQL or whatever, you just grab this 5 lines of code, add it to your deployment manifest, and you would have the dependency up and running, and you would get secrets written back to the namespace of your application. And then inside your application, you can just refer to those secrets to access the S3 bucket or a MySQL database or a Postgres database or a Redis cluster or whatever. So I'm pretty happy with how it works at the moment. and I would be very happy to see you breaking it. And on the admin side, let me just do a quick demo. Of course, I cleaned everything. Okay, let's do a quick demo. So I think this is the hackerspace cluster. Let's see how everything blows up, right? We just point it to the right cluster. And I've got this test YAML. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, then, you know, fun stuff. So it creates a bunch of claims, and the operators should act on it, and then all of these things should be started. And yeah, all of the stuff is pending. Nice, really nice. So you see it started Minio cluster, a KeyDB cluster, Redis clusters, etc. All of these things are starting up. And here it looks like, you know, stuff is pending. There's some error. It will retry again pending. And eventually, if everything works out, you will have the bound state, which means that it should be usable. And in the claim listing, bound state would mean also that the secret has been written back. So you get some decent feedback about the state of things. So yeah, this is what we have got so far. If there's some errors, I will figure out what's wrong and fix them. Okay, but next, who wants to go next? Okay. Artur will talk about fun stuff.
Hello, my name is Artur. It should be in frame. So regarding drinks, everybody's thirsty during a hackathon. So I made 2 kegs full of yerba mate. Now we need to put them in a fridge and add a tap to it. So that's the plan for tonight, to make a kegerator. I think that's it.
Maybe you can elaborate a little bit about what is kegerator.
What? Right, what is a kegerator? There's a keg and a fridge, and we combine both and add a tap to it. So you can put a little glass or big one and pour yourself a cold one. So we're going to do something like something simple with a 1 tap, and enjoy the hackathon. It should be fairly simple, so if anyone wants hands-on experience, you're welcome. So I'll be happy to pass this on, or I can just continue blabbering to fill the space and time. And here's Arti.
Okay, yes. Hi. My plan is actually, I think it's somewhere in the wiki. Where was it? Yes. So, as you know, Gaspace has several doors you can access with the key fob or whatever you have. And currently it is a bunch of Python. It is much less Python than it used to be. It used to be full Django web application with SQL database on each Raspberry Pi. Now it's only 200 lines of Python. But last year someone showed me that Golang is fun. So I started rewriting the whole Python thing in Golang. I didn't get very far, as you can see, and it has been sitting there for a year. And now this hackathon is a great place to have something pointing that, yeah, you gotta finish it. Hopefully by the end of this, I will have a Go version of the door controller, and hopefully also extra features like keep the door open so that we don't have to brick the door anymore, or like have a brick between the door and so it doesn't close. Yes, that's my plan. Does anyone else want to talk? Say your name also.
Hi, I'm Martti, and my long idea was to build a beer bringing robot. So some time ago I started, but it's not going very easily, and so I hope that this hackathon will kick me to build it not ready, but my goal is to get my platform running and to do location navigation, so using SLAM, and I need plan to use ROS2 robot operating system to manage my robot, and using I have already hardware platform as using Mechanom wheels and Raspberry Pi 4 and some motor controllers and LiDAR and so on. So I tried to put it all together and get it moving, and by Sunday my goal is to get it navigating. So I will tell where to go, and he will probably go. So that's all for me.
Hi, my name is Christian, and I have the most unoriginal idea ever. Let's make a PC case. I googled a lot, but I didn't found a good definition for laser cuttable acrylic PC case. And the case for the case here is we have a lot of retro hardware here. Some of these old cases are cool, but we have a lot of motherboards and stuff that's mostly generic, and putting them into acrylic case to display and use would be a good idea, I think. And my idea is just to draw the case so it's laser cuttable, and maybe if you have time, because these 80 and 80X case parts are interchangeable, maybe we can end up with 80 case, micro 80X case, and full 80X case. We can put motherboards in. If we have more time, maybe we can do with power supply hole or without, because for the retro computers, these Pico PSUs are quite small and doesn't need full PSU today. That's my idea. Okay, tool. I prefer FreeCAD. I know some people here prefer Open SCAD, or what it was.
Can you show? Do it in FreeCAD and show how it was done.
Okay, that could be done. Okay, who's next?
Do we have any more people?
Hi, I'm Herman. I'm gonna show which idea I'm stealing. It's basically this one. There is a lovely workshop in the space. I don't have a key for it, but what I do have is a car that does beep. I can get to the hackerspace, but not into the workshop. So I would like to make it so that you can beep and get into the workshop with all the very nice deadly tools. So if everything goes well, by Sunday I want to be able to get in there and do something incredibly stupid, maybe lose a limb. So that's basically my plan. Very realistic one, I hope. So anyone else want to say something?
The fact that you're not having a key sounds like I'm doing a terrible job. So there's lots of camera shy people here, and that's fine. We're gonna not force them to go against their instincts. Yeah, there's lots of people here probably tinkering on their own stuff. Some people will be helping out. There's, for example, so I can help out with anything Kubernetes related. And Erkias will help out with this OpenID Connect stuff because he programmed it. And Node.js, I suppose. And Madis Mägi will be working on the member site. So here we have the same situation that we have any corporate setting, that we have a big monolith that needs to be broken down into microservices. So we're gonna try to do something today. I think in the progress we will just delete lots of code and deprecate features that maybe we shouldn't be even having. So I think let's see. Probably many people haven't even seen this, especially from the inside. I mean, the people on the outside haven't seen how it looks like on the inside. So this is the member site we have developed. We've got the inventory, the machines listing. So machines page basically scrapes the switches and shows stuff that is connected to a network. And then, yeah, people have been asking me, Lauri, why don't you use like a real IPAM tool? But some of these real IPAM tools, the open source ones, are really sucky ones. And then the other alternative is just pay for a very, very expensive IPAM tool. So we wrote something ourselves, but I think this probably deserves to live its life as a separate service. Same story with the inventory. Inventory is basically just to associate items with people. This probably needs to live on as a separate service. And then we've got also some cash flow stuff here, but I think we're going to deprecate all of this cash flow stuff because we decided to basically give up doing accounting ourselves, and instead we'll just do like webhooks to accounting software to start and stop the membership process. So this means that all of this cash flow stuff will be gone. There's like all of the bank transactions are loaded here, so we can just delete all of that. And also we got the phone book here, so all of the members of the Hackerspace and their contact info. But I guess some of that will go to live its life inside the OpenID Connect provider, and what makes sense to put there will go there. And I guess that's about it. So at this point, it looks really promising that we can actually kill off the old member site and have like 3 different microservices that serve most of its functionality. Yeah, and I think we have also here Sergei's and Rasmus's ideas. Maybe I could elaborate a bit about the Sergei's idea, because it's actually connected to one of the things that I want to do. I actually haven't said what I want to do this weekend. At the moment, there's like 3 physical machines running bits and pieces of different whatever infrastructure, and I would want to shut them down. So my goal for this 2 days and 20 hours is to shut down these 3 boxes. They don't deserve to be wasting electricity. And part of that is moving stuff to OpenID Connect. Part of that is migrating services to Kubernetes. Part of that actually resonates with Sergei's idea. So the mail server that we're running, the Wildtack stack, written by my current employer's previous CTO, Andris, is very awesome, but I haven't updated this for a while because Wildtack really is rather a library for building mail servers rather than a full-blown mail server. So we actually need to set up just CI/CD pipelines to build the necessary parts. And I want to move it to Kubernetes, but there's like, I think, 5 or 6 services that it consists of. So it's a bit tricky. And once that is done, I think we could also build this disposable email service, which was requested by Sergei. So turns out that this is actually a service that people are willing to pay for. The point of disposable email addresses is that when you sign up for these pesky websites that demand to have your email address, that you don't actually give them your real email address. Instead, you give them whatever blah at garbagebin.com. So you will they will send the email to that address and it will get forwarded to your personal mailbox, but you do not reveal your real personal mailbox address in the process. And after some time, this email address just gets deleted, the temporary one. So should be very easy to do with the WildDuck stack. I will just there has to be some sort of front end to call the WildDuck API to add a mail alias, have some sort of TTL associated with it, and then it would get automatically deleted after a couple days or something like that. So this could easily be a service that is part of the Hackerspace offering, because we do have the @kspace email addresses, which do by default forward to your personal mailbox, which you used to sign up for the Hackerspace. And I think the price for this service was $30, so should again prop up the value offering of the Hackerspace subscription, because some people still keep asking, why do I pay $29? Well, you get this thing already included in $29, which otherwise you would pay separately $29, right? So, and there's also a bunch of Rasmus's ideas, but somebody who's on the same wavelength as Rasmus has to decipher these ideas. Maybe Arti, you want to go? Do you know any of these? No clue. Okay. Rasmus said he's not able to participate this weekend, but at least he put his ideas here. And yeah, I don't know much what's going on here. It's as cryptic as Rasmus as usually is. So I think this concludes the intro. And I guess we'll see you again Sunday, 2 o'clock. And anything else?